So, Andy, we're back for episode 2 of a chat with Andy and Killian. We're sort of a bit stunned with the viewership we had.
A bit. I'm very stunned. God, the feedback we've had has just been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
People are obviously hungry for this sort of thing, aren't they?
I chose that people have nothing to do or what. Like, because, like this, I did this whole idea, let people know, like, it was just, we're going to test the mics, we're going to test the lights in this new studio and see where it goes.
And we're on new mics tonight. We used wireless the last day and we're on the new ones here.
Every episode is a test episode.
Well, I hope people see the difference. I hope they are better. They should be better.
Okay.
So, I suppose we'll start where we sort of left off the last day. We nearly felt like we could have covered another chat with Andy and Killian with the amount of topics that we started and didn't finish. Yeah, well, we'll say 30, 35 minutes, but people are going to know this when they look on YouTube. And we're going to be on Spotify. A lot of people had said to me, and you had said to me about Spotify, I didn't realise, because I pay for YouTube, I can lock the screen, it plays the audio, but unfortunately, if you don't pay for YouTube, then your way
when you're going off on a walk and the phone's in your pocket and the screen locks and it stops.
So many people said that to us.
Yeah,
so it'll be actually both episodes will be on Spotify tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yeah,
check
so that's
Spotify. Like and subscribe. And
exactly. Yeah, if people could definitely hit the subscribe button. And another thing I wanted was fantastic is the amount of comments I got. Now we got loads of WhatsApps, we got loads of Facebook messages, we got loads of messages. But if you could drop it in the comments on YouTube, will help the Rally TV channel to grow. So we need the comments in the comments section.
Super, yeah.
So looking back at the historics, what do you think?
Wow on so many levels. Wow on the machinery. Wow on the spectacle. Wow on the weather.
Oh yeah, it was so tricky, wasn't it? Like, but everyone was, as we said, the anticipation was great. The world was watching, and then you're afraid that will this not deliver, or will the stage not roll in time? But I have to hand it to Anthony and everyone in Killarney. Like, it was one hell of a slick event. Like, it was magic. Like, the ceremony is starting the Friday evening.
Tell us about that. I was watching.
FYI, I'm never doing a live now. Ceremony starting again, okay?
Never say never.
No, I would almost be certainly, like, the problem is when you have a microphone going, it's just a disaster. But I think it showed people the atmosphere. Like, there was, I'd say, a few thousand people in the town, and like even
like
around
5 or 6 deep.
It was class. Yeah. It was class, and the weather just was fine actually when the ramp happened. But just to see our own local competitors, and a double world champion there, and like it was magic. It was magic.
They had to cut off the autograph session early. Hint was the
volume of people.
The volume of people. Like,
was class. It's insane. Like, and actually, I have some questions that we're going to do at the end here from Facebook, and I got a couple of messages as well of people asking questions, and there was a couple of relevant ones there. Just remind me to dig up the couple on my phone.
I seen you pop that message. We're doing another Facebook Live. Any questions? Drop in the comments. So 100 and something.
I
comments.
know. Yeah, we'll probably. I'd say I don't think we'll. I think we'll answer the ones that are sort of. I won't say that are favourable to answer, but the ones that we can answer. In our opinion, because I don't want to, there's a certain few points in it where you think, I don't think I can add any value to it.
We'll give it the Killian and Andy twist.
Yeah, I think so.
And we'll answer where we can answer.
Yeah, we'll get the iPads after. But the historics, it was a great event, great for Irish rallying. Rob Duggan, he was the man on the gap. It was a bit of a, bittersweet with Calais. Like, people, like, I drove up the gap. I was allowed to drive over the gap in the morning. Just because it was too far to get to the end of the stage, and like the thousands of people, like all you could see was that it was obviously dark when I was going up at 6:30, and all the high vis jackets, people standing out in the rain and the cold, and you know what, it was like.
What was it like?
It was like Monte Carlo. I was spectating on the. I'm trying to think.
That famous
Col Torini, was it?
Yeah,
like. It was every bit as good as that. There was no flares.
It was just missing the flares.
Yeah, that was it. Like, that was it. But it was super. And then we're at the end of the stage, and then he stopped him. Like, Dirtfish. I'll just go back to our day, right? I'll tell you. There's a couple of things I want to mention here. So I had obviously done a speed check. At the end of the stage, it looked okay. Like, just after the passage control, because generally if there's a passage control, you have to have coverage.
Yep.
So I got there anyway. Patrick Croke was there. Obviously, he was on the studio duties.
Shout out to Patrick.
Did a great work.
Absolutely
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Great to have him part of the team.
We're only tipping the iceberg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it'll be class. Yeah, 2025. Yeah, great lad.
Yeah.
Listen, there's nothing you can say about Patrick that people don't know already. Just a top bloke and a great guy and great enthusiasm and always in good humour. So I mean, I love people like that around me. I hate negative people. It just gives you a buzz, like it gives you a buzz. Yeah. But we're going to try to stay on not tangents tonight, right? Because I'm conscious of time. I'm talking a bit quicker even. So we got there anyway. Pulled up, phone, looked at the phone. I went, oh God, SOS. Like no coverage, zero. So we walked down the road, and next thing David Evans and Elliot and them from Dirtfish landed, and I was like, oh my God, they're like, we're obviously the provider for the social media for the Tarmac Championship. You know, like there's no excuses. Like you don't get excuses. Or you can give them, but people, you don't get any sympathy. Like you get away with excuses for a short time.
Second chance.
Not really. Like and it was our first event. It was short notice, all right. We had a few weeks to prepare. But literally zero. Nobody had a stitch of phone coverage, no matter what. Anyway, I was thinking, oh my God, I have the Starlink, obviously, but the Starlink is hoppy enough, she's jumpy. And I had this company in Cork, and I want to give them a big shout out. They're Novotel. So basically what the company specialise in is internet solutions. So if you live in an island, if you live in a place where people tell you there is no chance of internet coverage, get in touch with Novotel. They're in Buttevant in Cork. Actually, I would have passed that door so many times. Yeah. I would have been in the cafe next door when I head to Cork to stop for breakfast on the way down. I never realised. A small office.
They do amazing work.
Neve and Diane were there. Oh my, amazing work. Yeah. Like the supply all over Ireland. But they're integrated with a company in Germany. So it's with the software and some of the hardware as well, in layman terms, as quick as I can tell you. But basically what it does is it bonds the signal. So it'll bond two Roman SIM cards together. Okay. But still we had no coverage. And then I plugged in the Ethernet from the Starlink. And then I was able to run the entire stream. Like the entire studio was ran from a place where there was zero coverage. So not alone were we like needing internet to stream. We were actually using that full bandwidth to push out the stream. I was thinking, oh my God. And the ladies had said to me, listen, like it'll work perfect, plugging it in for the studio side of things. Yeah. But you probably want to use your internet for streaming. Yeah. I'm sure I had no choice. So I put up the two little wires on the roof and I spotted off the Wi-Fi, and we never lost signal once at the end of that stage. It was so big shout out to Novotel.
And that's technology. Like bear in mind, 10 years ago, Arctic Glory, right?
Yeah,
and a budget the size of
God knows cost you 15 or 20 grand to stream. What you're doing. Yeah. Like, and this company is, as I said, I'm really looking forward to working with them next year. We've given them great feedback. They're involved in the GA stream, and obviously GA stream is a little bit easier because it's in football pitches and generally they have internet. But like the solution, I went back, I dropped it back on the Tuesday when I was down making notes for the Bohora Sprint, and I was just like, this is the job. So the good news is for you, we're getting one on a backpack for you next year. So that, I'm waiting for them to come down.
I don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait anymore, Andy.
No more means
it doesn't care. You just head wherever you want. Internet's on in your backpack. Like, and that's big. Like, I don't need it because I just need the static one because I'm generally beside my car. So we're going to have two of them units along with the two Starlinks next year. And I think, to be honest, I won't say it's guaranteed, but it's almost as good as we can do.
Again, it's another step forward in what is technology. It's always changing, and we're always going to try our best to change with it and keep up with it and
100%.
And improve. Like,
so shout out to Novotel.
Oh, well done. So
moving on then to the actual rally. Our day went fantastic. Michael Black and Paddy at the end of the second stage Ballock Beam. It's actually a very tricky rally, isn't it? Like to stream.
Very, because it's two rallies in one.
It is, and the historics run first, then the modifieds.
Who do you prioritise? Do you know?
Well, I suppose generally it's a historic rally, so maybe we should prioritise with that. But the way I felt was
we cover everyone.
We do, but the star of the show was Calder Offenpera, arguably the star of the show. It was great that the spectators got him going again. But
let's just go back. You were at the end of the gap here, speaking of minutes ago, and you were up and running, and you were actually streaming, right? Yeah. And so a message comes to you from spectators on the stage.
People wrote in the comments. Yeah.
I was watching the link
live.
Right? there was a group of people at the end of my they were all around me. They were all watching my phone, like, because they didn't have coverage working off of Sterling.
Yeah.
And next thing in the comments, and you said it literally, you must have seen it straight away, because
yeah.
we don't always see the comments. But this one just popped out.
It did.
It stopped.
Yeah, and like I had the Dirtfish guys beside me, and they were like,
yeah.
And they actually wrote about it. So shout out to David Evans as well. Like, it was a bit like thinking, oh,
everyone
no, after coming the whole way here now.
Yeah.
And then we heard he was moving again, and that was, like, honestly, I think if you had paid someone all the money that was in this country to give feedback like he gave about Irish rugby, you actually could not buy the value that we, that was got out of him for Irish rallying. Like, and a great ambassador. Yeah. He opened like a normal guy. Like, he's a normal, interviews. He was magic. Everything he did, he was just such an ambassador for the sport. And like when he talks now with, he's doing the full WRC next year, they're going to ask him, no doubt they're going to ask him. That's going to be because all these guys are not, in world rally cars, and they don't think they ever started off. They're all curious. They all loved a bit of fun. Like, Novell has the M3, there's Elvin Evans has a Mark II. They're all into the modified. They're all into the historic sort of side of things. So you could imagine the way he's going to sell, Killarney Historics, but Irish rallying as a whole. And to be fair, I go back, big up to the Anthony and the team, and they ran a hell of a show. Like, and the pressure was on.
To save us half an hour and actually going back, check out the Dirtfish, check out the Dirtfish socials, because they have the interviews from Yanni there who speaks about they came over to have a bit of fun. Yeah. Right. Yeah. What happened on the first stage was but you know what? It was a bit of fun.
It did, and the two fastest
times.
So if he comes back next year, he's not coming back next year, I don't think. But it's unfinished business. But I think he won't come back next year. I don't think there'll be somebody else, I would say. But if he comes back, I think no one will beat him if he comes back, because he has the data. Yeah. Like, and what's surprising enough, I was talking to Jason Black, and he never changed any clicks on the car when he was testing. So Jason Black there, Toyota might be trying to get him on for some suspension testing and car setup. Yeah, so that's
Jason Black and the whole team involved.
And they did. Yeah. Like the work they did, and even their socials.
Their socials,
magic. It was brilliant. Class, so it was class. Yeah. It was class. So no, that was like the Historics was great. And Donna Kelly as well. Donna Kelly, arguably, I would say, listen, he obviously went so well in West Cork over the years, but I'd say arguably that must be one of his finest victories.
He's match fit this year from the Historic Championship. A lot of people, he kind of went a little bit under the radar. What I'm saying from Rory, we're doing like
they were getting the kilometres up, but no one took them heed. Yeah,
and then they came home, and like we've seen him a couple of weeks before that, and Eamon, look, it was unfortunate what happened to Eamon. It could have been an amazing battle.
Eamon cleaned everyone on the gap, but then Donna took 4 or 5 out of him on Ballochbeam, and Eamon went off in the next one. Pressure, possibly, yeah. But like, and Johnny Greer, then I jinxed Johnny.
Dad is the worst pressure. Yeah, Johnny Greer. Yeah. Oh man, he came to me and he says, "You jinxed me."
I did.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny.
Sorry, Johnny. Yeah. Sorry. So, no, it was an excellent event. Yeah. We're going to wait for the comments if there's any other business regarding Killarney Historic. So there is a few in the comments about where it should go, blah blah blah. But we'll get to that shortly. Perfect. Right, Billy Coleman Award.
We called it.
We did.
We made a prediction.
We did. But as you say, everyone's winners.
Everyone's a winner.
So the last 3 still have this year to prove themselves. Yeah. So there's nothing promised in as obviously, Craig is the actual winner, we'll call it. But they're all getting support. Particularly the final 3 are getting support.
And the final 5 are part of the My Rally Academy.
So they all have a chance to prove themselves again.
So. Where are we going to see Craig? What do you reckon? Where would you like to see him? What are you thinking?
I hadn't actually thought about it.
I have thought about it, right?
Go on.
I have thought about it, and I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him in the junior ERC, right?
Funny, I only seen it as 6 or 7 rallies.
Yeah.
That'd be the place, I'd say.
Do you know what, right? You know what would be a dream story that I'd be able to hear, that not only him is going over with the tricolour on we've watched the battles all year. Yes. Right? Imagine taking them battles and taking them to Europe.
Yeah. Now there'd be a lot of learning. It just
it's not going to happen straight away.
It won't be a smooth. Not that it won't be a smooth transition.
Craig kind of got his eyes open this year when the only time he finished outside the top 3 was actually in Portugal, right?
Yeah.
And I actually spoke to him after the event, and it was.
As I said, like Portugal's dog rough.
Yeah, it's dog rough. Yeah. It's so much
it's
more,
totally different. It's not like a forest here. He'd have better chance going to the UK in a forest if it was an ERC round, And to be fair, the guys that went over to do the Rally Ceredigion, they were shocked, I'd say, with the pace of the European guys.
Yeah, so absolutely. And you've got all the locals in as well on their home events. It's not just
no, that's the thing with the ERC. Generally, you get a lot of local specialists. But it'll be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
It will be.
I'm sure, Sean McHugh and the academy team are sitting down. They have a plan.
Yeah.
John Coyne.
And speaking of plans there, cutting across, Josh Mackerlin, James Fulton. He's going to Toyota.
I was
as well.
Me on the hop.
I was
that caught me on the hop.
I looked at the press release from I actually don't know the driver's name.
Yeah.
We'll call him one of the Japanese junior drivers. We'll call him in WRC2.
I'm not going to pronounce his name.
No, I won't even give it a go. But he, I didn't even take much heed of the press release, and then when James had it up, it's great for James. James is obviously a world class co-driver, and a great person as well.
Yeah, super guy.
It is, I suppose.
I'm looking at it 2 ways. It's great to see another Irish co-driver out there.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like, I almost, that's I feel bad, but him and Josh, I'm thinking, what happens now? Obviously, there is a plan.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see.
It is going to be interesting to see who's going to sit with you. Well, there's loads of, it's like, it's like economics. It's one thing moves, what's the knock-on effect? So,
we've all seen in the last week there's been a lot of musical chairs, there's been a lot of stuff. There's been Salzburg announced.
That's right, Toyota,
It's got a Toyota. There's a lot of, we need to talk about Formeau as well in a couple of minutes. Him.
That's right, gone to Hyundai.
Hyundai. There's lots of musical chairs. There's lots of people now, who are not in seats, right? But didn't you hear what M Sport are saying? Like, do they haven't got a budget? Who are they going to bring in? There's a lot of, it's exciting times at the moment.
It is, and this is the last year of the current car. Is it 27 or 26? The next car is coming.
Did someone listen to our podcast?
There must have been. Because
a lot of what we said.
It is. I'm sure the meeting was before our podcast, but it was like it's as I said,
nothing to be final. It has to go to
it has to go to be finalised. Yeah. But like M Sport always struggle for budget.
But see some of the guys that have come through the InSport. You've been in the InSport Hall.
Yeah.
You've seen the photos. Tell us about it. Tell us about the people that you have sat down and had breakfast with over there. Who's been there when you were there?
Well, when we're obviously away at the rallies, a legendary Russian Evgeny Novikov. Ilka Minor used to sit. So sometimes he'd join you for breakfast, and sometimes he just walks straight past you.
Yeah. But even people like Gromholm, Salzburg.
Yeah, I missed them guys.
Evans.
So I had Novell and Tannic.
You had Novell.
Novell was there. He did every rally we did that year.
You taught him all he knows.
Well, something like that. But complicated notes. I remember, Nicholas Gilsall was with him at the time.
Yes.
And, Sardinia used to finish really late, and then we'd be going to bed at maybe midnight, 1 o'clock, and the guys would get up at 5 to go to in-car. You couldn't think anything worse. To going through it, the dedication, and his notes are like Loeb's notes, so they're so there's hundreds. It's degrees, so you could have 90 right, but then if you say 100, you have to say meters after it. So it's 90 right, 100 meters. 45 left, 40 meters. So you used to put in meters in obviously their own language.
It's a system that only he knew, that he could, if someone else went into his notes.
Well, they're different. There's some of the Europeans use them sort of notes. They're very, very complicated. A lot
very
of numbers.
Complicated. There's a lot of calling.
I think does John Armstrong use something similar? I think John is something similar. I think his notes are quite complicated. I think, but who else was there? Elvin Evans was there and Dan Barrett. Elvin had got a couple of runs in the WRC car. I think it was 14. But just again, everyone's just normal guys. But it was a great feeder system, M Sport. But the problem is a feeder system. It's like the served apprenticeship.
Yeah.
But then their window's so small that they can't afford if they're not. I'm not saying it's not the best car, but if they're not getting a car, the tools that can actually win like every rally, then they have to look after their career, because they have a bad year in that car, you know, driving the bag out of it and going nowhere. Like that could be the, you know, that could be the nearly the end of them. So they have to.
Fermo actually said, you know, like what basically one of the reasons that he's good, it's basically because of money, like, and it's you know that there's not the
probably a lot of the drivers. I would say, you know, I'd say none of the Ford drivers are paid. I'm guessing, like, I could be wrong, like, but in as they might be getting expenses, but like, you know, but then again, you know. The apprenticeship, that's the apprenticeship. I mean, the apprentice electrician in first year doesn't go in and get paid the same as the fourth year apprentice. So, I mean, it's all part of, it's part of your craft. It's like mechanics going working for world championship teams. You know, any team, we'll say Ford, for example, they mightn't be getting what they think they should get, but they forget that the credibility that they're building will pay off for the rest of their life. Yeah. So if they put in the hard yards and the credibility of working for a works team, then you know that has value. They're adding value to themselves without fattening their bank accounts immediately. Okay. It's like a long investment, I would say. Like any people that are watching the podcast and thinking, you know, what would be the merits? Sure, I'm getting paid as much going to Irish rallies. You possibly are, but like you look at the longevity of anyone that was in the works teams, like just to bring to see what level it all works at, and it's normal. They just don't take shortcuts. Yeah. Like look at, as I said, Tom Gahan. As I said, I'm spending a day with Tom in January. Is like he was with Colin McRae in M Sport, like you know, and Philip Case as well. Yeah, Philip spent a lot of years with actually Marco Martin in M Sport.
That's right. Yeah.
There's loads of people from Ireland that were at World Championship teams. There's actually still a couple of guys with Toyota. I mean, you know, they're obviously, you know, on the higher end of things, but I'm on about like apprentices or people that are looking for a career in motorsport. Then I think you could do a lot worse than going to M Sport. I mean, at the end of the day, it's okay. It's in Cockermouth. I mean, you'd have to be into mountain biking or something in the evenings, because you know, it's a nice little town, like, you know, I suppose no different than where we're living here in the west of Ireland, but like they've mountain biking trails and but like the good thing about M Sport is like they've cross country projects, they've you know, I'm sure they'll have racing projects, they've rally projects,
they have a lot of stuff in the past,
and it's a very family orientated
Bentley as well,
it's a family orientated environment. But again, I suppose no more than when I was co-driving there, you know, I suppose when I was coming back doing the pace notes here, the credibility of the fact you were co-driving, you know, at World Championship level with a works team. Okay, we're in WRC2, but there was no difference in how we're handled, you know. Yes. And I think that would have helped my own credibility. So I have a lot to thank them for. You know, Richard Milner, I know he's a big fan of our Facebook Live, you know, and I remember Richard when he was running the SDs over here, you know, that was his project back in 06, 07, and to be fair, he's grown within the company. You know, he didn't start at the top shelf, like, you know, he worked his way up the ladder. There's opportunities.
It's amazing what M Sport as a whole have done with the resources they have, I suppose.
Oh, shit, they wouldn't. Like, I'd say some of the teams have more budget for the recce cars than they have for a lot of their testing projects. So they can't afford to test on some of them. And like you could say, well, why doesn't Malcolm dip into his own pockets? But I'm sure he has to. Like that's grand, dipping into your own pockets. But how much dipping will you do to pay 120 lads or girls a week? Like, you're not going to last that long, no matter how many millions are in your bank account. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a business for him. I mean, he loves rallying. He's not a charity. Like,
yeah, he's a businessman.
You know, and they run a really tight show. I'm a real big soft spot for M Sport and that, and what they've done, and that's why I think that if we simplify the cars, like you go to M Sport, them hybrid things are €1 million odd, right? If you go now and you have a WRC2 spec car plus a few extras, we'll call it, I can't see why M Sport won't be on top, because the budgets, there's only a certain amount you can spend on it. There's only a certain amount of testing days you can do. So I think that it needed to happen. But how many more teams like Skoda, you know, Toyota might have a second, you know, they might even run a second team. Like, let's ramp the thing up, like, you know.
And all the reason that I'm actually leaning forward is already what the talk is, and this is actually the actual drivers is when there won't be much of a difference in the cars, maybe 40, 50 brake horsepower, right? Is they're actually worried already about the works drivers first in the road, right?
Yeah.
Versus the privateer who's 40 on the road
on
the gravel.
You get an outsider.
Right? Getting bet.
But you get an outsider.
I think it's fantastic.
You remember the time, like,
I think it's fantastic.
Shane Lowry won in, everyone loves an outsider.
That's
everyone loves the story of it.
I know they're a bit worried about the manufacturers and, getting bet by, but no, I think this is good for the sport. I think
going back to junior thousands, the fastest drivers, it'll be still the fastest drivers, no matter what they're in. So like the likes of Novell, coming out with that, I think it's actually ridiculous to be honest. Like
I think it is. I think
what's he afraid of?
Yeah,
like,
but that's for another podcast, I think, because we could talk a lot about WRC.
Yeah, no, we need to leave WRC alone.
And we're not WRC experts.
No, we're not. We need to leave it alone because I think, like, I think we gave it a fair assessment the last time, but I do. I'm just going to say that again, going back to it, all day content. If anyone WRC is listening, you know what to do with that all day content. Forget about it. The suspense.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the suspense.
We know what they want, the suspense now.
The suspense, the adrenaline. You go to a football match, it's the adrenaline of the last few minutes when it's tight. And
but you know what? We will leave it WRC because this is stemmed from stemmed from Killarney, right? Yeah. Give me one phrase or one statement about Killarney, and we'll finish on Killarney on that. I'll start if you want.
Go on, because
Calais smile. He was loving
demeanor,
it. We see the in-car when he overtook
John O'Dugan.
Class.
But like John O'Dugan will have that story till forever and a day.
Absolutely.
Like I'm sure, but they went drifting actually on the Monday with the Shanahans. And actually, by the way, there was Chris O'Callaghan was there, Colin O'Donoghue, Rob
Duggan.
Like,
but he was having fun.
I'm sure there'll be a rapport there with them guys forever and more. 100%. Like he probably has he enjoyed rallying?
He came, as much. He laughed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Well, I'm going to leave that with you because I'm I don't think I can add anything to that. What you said, it's a smile.
It's just he was so happy, so happy, and it was terrible how he stopped on the gap, but it's given three lads who potentially could have been two lads could have been doing the event, and their mechanic could have come out so different, and it didn't. It happened that way, and he didn't win. But look what happened. Best story. Dwarffish got so much content out of it.
They got so much. See some of the views. What about our own? But even our own views.
Our own views have been amazing.
It's been amazing. Like when you get like a reach of like 2.3 million in the few days after it. Like there's a clip on TikTok that's not even included in that stat. Is like 500,000 views. Like it's
even my own reel. Like I was blown away.
Oh, you're real! Congratulations! But for anyone that doesn't know, Andy and myself used to have real competitions. And then I soon realised that there was no point me doing them. Can you just collaborate? And Andy, give me your reel because I am useless at them. I used to think it was class. The music was it was like lump in your throat sort of stuff. It was brilliant. And over 100,000 views on and that's incredible. On Instagram.
I was really happy with it because I said I'll make reels from football. I read reels when I go get my treat, but I make reels about anthems. It's the way it works.
Oh, so good.
And
the content was so good.
When that song came into my head, and I was just like, I have this idea.
It just works.
And I got the clips of you and put it together, and I just kind of sat back and went, fucking love this one.
Yeah, it's class. It was class.
And I was delighted.
It was class.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, exactly. It was magic. So we've been through the Bill Coleman Award.
Yeah, Bill Coleman. Bill Coleman. Sorry, that's.
So next up, Jason Mitchell video. What do you make of it?
Amazing.
It was good.
It was brilliant.
Now it was our first one.
People liked it.
There's things that we could do better. So shout out to Matthew as well from Traction Media. Matthew's great young fella. We should have probably had the camera in the Jeep, but I'm very hard myself in the front. But again, it was the first one. But I think it showed people like the 17,000 views on YouTube on it, right? It is amazing, and even
Jason must be delighted.
He's delighted, I like even the just to show what his everyday life is,
and it was brilliant. I thought I knew.
Yeah, what a business!
What a business!
Like you have to hand it to him, man. I like the most down to earth guy.
And I love how, he actually puts work first. Like but what I mean by that is he knows that if he can't work, there's no rallying.
There's no rallying, 100%. And like what he's coming in the new Skoda, we already touched on the last one, so it'll drop that one.
But he didn't mind, and and we'll get on to that in a couple of minutes, like about the Skodas and stuff. But yeah, Jason Mitchell, tell us what else is coming. What else we look forward to?
Dixon's.
Oh, brilliant!
I spent last.
Which one are all them?
Actually, Ashley. So I focused on Ashley. Ashley's
the dad. Yeah,
the dad. That is Andy. I would have it ready next week, but I'm not going to release it till after Christmas. But I'm going to release it between Christmas and the New Year.
That quiet period.
Yeah,
just we're so full of turkey, right?
Yeah, just people will enjoy it.
Shopped enough. We just want to sit down and watch something.
I thoroughly enjoyed the day. Like how, and I won't spoil it, but the way the whole dynamic of the family works is lovely, lovely.
And if you look for insurance,
yes,
no further,
100%. Actually, with insurance, if anyone needs it, it's Dixon and Co in Northern Ireland, or Dixon and Wilson, Southern Ireland. Anyone needs a direct phone number to, if you're in the north or the UK, you can ring the northern offices, or in the south, drop me a WhatsApp. I have Shane Wilson's number.
I was just going to say, if there's anything that people are watching and they're unsure about, whether it's can I insure my boat or can I insure my dog or whatever, if you're unsure about, get on to Dixon's.
Drop
you WhatsApp.
I'll voice note you back, the Chancellor. I'll voice note you back. Same
numbers, clip of the rallies.
Exactly. 6355088.
Exactly. Better than my wife.
Exactly. So I know it's mad. So yeah, Dixon's, and they do rally car cover as well. So that's a big
like
one.
Dixon, that's quite interesting.
It's
because
so interesting.
There's a lot more than
insurance brokers.
We won't spoil it.
No, we won't. We're going to leave it at that. But that's going to be out between Christmas and New Year. I'm going to have it ready, but I'm not going to release it because I want to go and I want people to sit down and just enjoy it.
Jason Mitchell, the Dixons are on the way. Who else is in the pipeline?
Declan Boyle.
That's going to be
Michael and Matthew. I was hoping to do that this week, but unfortunately, Declan's schedule is very busy. It's going to be the start. It's going to be the start of. Yeah. It's going to be.
Tell us, you're going to do this one from Dubai. You're going to Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. Declan. Yeah, thanks. You spoiled that. I wish, Declan, if you're listening, I'm good to go. Economy tickets to do the job. But actually, speaking of that, there is actually, I'd say this could be our last. This is definitely our last chat of 2024. Myself and yourself.
Okay.
But our next chat possibly could be a live show. A live show. A Marshall's Appreciation Night. Right.
That's going to
Donegal Town, McCafferty's, Sonny Max Wines. We're going to be there. Okay. And we're going to have guests.
So the Boyles Marshall's Appreciation Night.
It's class. I was at it last year.
Okay.
We're going to be there. It's on I think the 18th of January. It's Saturday, whatever that weekend is.
Night, okay.
It's going to be in Donegal Town. We're going to have a stage, and we're going to have some amazing guests up, and we're going to interview them. So we're going to record it. But it'd be great if people could join us. I think it's going to be a magic night. I'm really, really looking forward to the night out.
Any of the Boyles premises, like the McCaffrey's Bar,
the class. Sure, listen, any excuse.
Brilliant at the best of times.
To be honest, I was only delighted to an excuse to go to it. So we'll enjoy that. So we'll have our mics with us, and we're gonna record it, Andy, and we'll have a few drinks and we'll have a bit of crack, and that's it. So moving on, we're going to keep going here. Right. I want to touch on the events over Christmas again. There's shortened entries at the minute, in as they're definitely going to run. So Bohra, I think, has 50 entries. It can run 80 cars. So that is on the 29th of December.
Okay.
Brilliant, almost 6 kilometre stage down in Bohra. Stage is in great condition. You can double drive cars. It's Sean Daly's organising it. Cork Motor Club. Slick. There's going to be no dramas. It's going to be ran to, military precision. So that is on the 29th of December.
That's the first round of the
junior thousands. So they're going to get 20 of them anyway. So entries are still available, but you need to get them in. And I'm sending out notes actually at the minute. But again, if you order notes, bear in mind that there is no notes after Christmas Day because you won't have them in time. So if you are looking for notes, drop an order. Another event the day before this, on the 28th of December, is the Turkey Run ran by Maiden City. And I'm actually not making notes until next Monday, which is the 16th. So I want the course to be set up. Okay. So they're also looking for entries.
Just going back to the Cork event, you can actually double drive on that event as well, can't you?
You can double drive, yeah. So if you bring... You could maybe split a rental of a car between two people, make it cheaper. You can bring co-drivers. Obviously, there's notes. You have to bring co-drivers. Notes.
Yeah, and as I said, the first round off the
it's
the MIGRS for
exactly
section. So
yes,
that's going to be
brilliant.
It's going to be Brilliant.
And the Turkey Run, entries are still open. So I'm going to push the hell out of that next week because I'll have the notes made Monday and they'll be posting Tuesday, like quick turnaround. Right, that's that covered. So Andy, I suppose what we're on to now is the Facebook questions. Ooh. So I'm going to go into Facebook here. I actually have the page open.
You want to step ahead of me?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to answer them as best we can, right? Now let me see. Okay, so just FYI, we have 109 comments and 4 shares.
Are we going for newest?
Yeah, I'll just go. Sorry.
We'll go for old.
Most relevant. No, newest.
We'll go for all comments, right?
All comments. Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah. Right, Mike O'Shea. Looks like Carnon Bray is getting ready to join the KDA. Okay, Junior Thousands. Yes, Mike O'Shea. They're doing great work at the Junior Thousands. Right, Brian Martin. Large reserve list for Triton rallies: 36 in Mayo, 22 Monaghan, 23 Burr, 18 Carlow. Good stats there, Brian.
Right,
thank
actually,
you. 60.
I'm going to hit you with some stats on that because give me your first event. There, Mayo. Mayo start. So on the reserve list, how many? 36. It started 135 main field, 2 historics, and 10 juniors.
How many could it start? It could start 141.
165, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So they didn't start a full field.
They didn't start a full field.
Okay, so cut a long story short.
Let's just go down through a couple more here, right?
So, okay, there was 22 Monaghan. On reserve in Monaghan.
Started 149 main field, 5 historics, and 8 juniors.
Okay, they were full to the brim.
No, they weren't full. 8 and 5 is 14. That's not full. Because the reason I know this is because the next event, Burr, was the first event that actually started a full field during the year.
Oh, because you are always on the case.
And a big shout out for Burr because I also know as I'm on that now. As I'm on that, they also had the biggest auto test entry this year. They had the largest auto grass.
They're doing great things.
The grass autocross rather. They had the biggest endurance entry. And they had the biggest loose surface autocross entry. So that's big shout out to Burr. There's massive.
Well done.
But you know why I think that is? Burr PR out of events. They do a fantastic job.
Positivity. And any club, they sell positivity.
And they sell happiness. Absolutely. Yeah. Burr are a fantastic club. And but online, they have such a presence online. And you see a lot of clubs who have a good presence online. Like I can start naming and we can shout out to Claire. And
it does make a difference.
It does.
Everyone wants to be part of a positive thing.
It does.
That's 100%.
But go on anyway. So
maybe let 3 more national rallies. Sorry. So
Burr and Stone Throwers. Okay, I'll actually skip forward.
60 in the Harvest reserves. The Harvest started a full field as well.
No, it didn't actually. The only events that started full field, 165 were Stone Throwers and Burr. Everyone else fell short. So what you pulled what there? You pulled the Harvest
60 reserve.
Harvest started 146 main field, 5 historics. That's 151.
Yeah,
and 9 juniors.
160.
See, so while it and I just looking at Brian's comment there, like big reserves. As being a former COC yourself, right? What was the golden rule? You're going to lose. How much was the percent? I remember talking to Sean McHugh
10%. I think it was 10%.
Yeah, it was easily 10%.
But it's a lot more. That was probably a few years ago.
It's back in the early 90s.
See, the thing about thing is, right, when the recession came, if there was like 90 entries, generally you'd have 85 starters.
Yeah.
Whereas now all people are doing is, will I do Midland? Sure, listen, I'll stick in an entry and keep the spot.
Yeah.
And there's more and more of that happening now.
Okay.
So I think that, these firstly I would say there definitely needs to be no extra rounds in the Triton Championship. There's enough rallies.
I agree with you on that. But again, drop it in the comments.
Drop it. What do you think? Is there enough? Is there enough?
I think it's good at the moment.
I'm
a big fan of the whole if it's not broken.
Well, I think it's down further here with the 2 yearly calendar. To be honest, I would say it's a massive success.
I agree.
Can it be a little bit better? In my opinion, yes, it can. What do I think could be better? She's a bit heavy at the start and light at the finish.
Yes. What do you think of the spread? When they look down, do they look at the calendar and say,
Well, see, the problem is, every club's date is like sacrilegious.
And that's what I want to tease out.
They do not want to move. So, in my opinion,
that's because it deals with and
it is. But again, if you're 2 years ahead of yourself, right? The Tarmac Championship, people said about the there's more comment there. Derek has wrote there about moving out. No, I don't agree with that. No. I don't agree with the Tarmac Championship. They have their weekends. There's no need for it to move really.
Killian made a very good comment there about Galway. We've seen because Galway's local to us, we're familiar with. We know what's happening until Sundays. Yeah. Even the Red Bull thing a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Galway has enough going on all year, and you actually made
Smaller
that comment.
Towns are better.
you know, that there's enough going on in places, and they're no certain time of the year, you know, different things. So yeah.
I would say like leave the Tarmac Championship rounds. Is there enough rallies? In my opinion, there is. You know, I see people looking for mini stages, single stages. You know, people will always want to be part of something that often they can't have. You know, and as like the problem is you add in 2 more rallies. Like, who are you taking it from? And like, it's already hard for events to actually make money, because remember, rallies are subsidized and entry fees are subsidized by sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, to run them, like it takes 100 odd grand to run a 1-day national rally. You know, give or take, could be more, could be a bit less.
Yeah.
Then you fix a couple of telegraph poles and fences,
and stone wall in the front,
stone walls, and then you have your insurance, you have your permit, you have everything. So I think everything is fine in the numbers wise. Now, you know, you could look and see about mini stages and single stages. In my opinion, I would like to see an introduction of a mini stage, maybe 2 mini stage events, where it was back to the days where I used to do mini stages, where you get a single pass recce or a familiarization run, and then went out. And people say, "Oh, legal recce," and you police it, like, you know, it's. And I don't think there's much illegal recceing happening at the minute, to be honest. I think people haven't time. Everyone's busy. Could they be bothered? I don't think so. Bothered. Like, they're looking at everything else, how to improve, rather than going cheating. You know, and at the end of the day, then, you know, it probably suits me to say it. You know, we have, like, you know, HD cameras in the car. I mean, you put that in a 55-inch TV. Sure, why the hell would you want to walk driving down a road? Yeah. You know, afraid you'll meet an official. So I think I'd like to see a couple of single stages coming back. Like, in McKilly started as a single stage. It's obviously run in 2025 as a mini stages.
Just go back to this year. That what's called Garda Motor Club. Do you know how many that started?
Go on.
90.
There you go.
90.
Point proven.
A great event.
A brilliant event. Like, great location, great stages. Yeah. Everyone loved it, because it started 2 years ago. Would have started the full field, and everyone was buzzing about it, and they didn't do anything different.
No, nothing different.
It was like a circle, the loop of it. I remember it was so compact, super event,
and everything that,
and it's a mini stages. So you're obviously not open to R5 or Rally 2 cars. So that's point proven, really. Now, just on the calendar, right? I have this thing in my head, and I could be completely wrong. I think that the Forestry Championship should run like it did 25 years ago. It should run during the quieter months. And why do they think, why should the Forestry have to wait? It's the same pond that we're going to here with the rod for co-drivers and drivers in many cases. And cars. Okay, so if this would be my Forestry Championship, and let me know in the comments what you think. I could be completely wrong. Okay, start with Cork in August. Okay? Lakeland as the second event, Bushwhacker as the third event. So what you've done there, you started south. So the guys that do Lakeland and Bushwhacker will go, you know what?
I'll nip down.
We'll go down and do the first one. And that's 3 rounds knocked out.
Down the car.
And then we can go. And remember, once this year, the last event you could do in an R5 Rally 2 car, stand me if I'm wrong, it was the Harvest.
It was the Harvest, and there's a long, long break.
And then before that was Wexford. Wasn't that before the Harvest?
Yeah.
Cork 20, apologies, Cork 20. Okay, so now you did the Harvest in your R5 car, and I'm not saying this to suit the R5 cars, but I'm making the point that a lot of the people in the R5 cars, when tarmac is on, they don't want to know about forestry. But when tarmac's not on, they could be tempted. Because if you have an R5 car, right, and you have the gravel kit for it, which most of them come with, and a tarmac kit, and you're doing Midland, and then you have to swap it then to gravel, and then swap it back tarmac.
How much roughly to go
I'd say labour. I could be completely wrong. I've 2 or 3 grand. Could be in labour, like, and again, that, you know, painting the car, it's going to get, you know, stone chips, and, you know, there's other factors to it. Like, in my opinion, it should be.
So you're saying basically, do your tarmac events, right?
Yeah, when it gets quiet, so not to finish tarmac at the end of August. But I think you should be, the people either know how they're doing in the championships. Yeah. So if a person is not doing great in the championship, they could ditch maybe the last round and say, leave more entries available to less experienced crews. But the start in August, as I said, then they go to, it started in August with Cork Forestry, then September, then you have both Lakeland and Bushrack are excellent events as well. Then you could have Carrigan Shore, you could have other gravel events, and then you could say, oh, what about the weather? The weather's as bad, to be honest, in June as
been as bad. Yeah. Look at Clare, you know.
Yeah, like, so it's not fair to say.
Yeah, that's not a.
No, it's not a fair comparison.
That's a good idea. In the comments.
Exactly. Drop it in the comments.
Because again, this is very kind of driven.
But again, you could finish then it in February, and then you don't have any of the laying of the birds. You don't have any issues with the birds and stuff.
You've just well thought about.
I have. I've been thinking about it for a while. Yeah, thinking about it for a while. So again, I think it'd just work a little bit better because back, as I said, years ago, Mayo ran a forestry in December. I think the championship finished up in February and then the tarmac starts. So people could be tempted.
You know what you're talking about?
Oh, well, I don't know. Let's see. Drop it in the comments.
Okay. And so I suppose people who have cars, let us know. You know,
well, like, would you?
Would it be an option? Thinking about, you know, if it's something that would entice you, because once your car is in gravel setup, it's left in gravel setup, it actually saves you a few bob.
It does.
You know,
yeah, you're not chopping and changing.
You're not chopping and changing.
And to be honest, I always look at the forestry championship. It's usually 3 stages, ran twice. Yeah. So if you had a R5 car, arguably you could go one person with you. I mean, they could just give it, like, the events are 60 odd kilometres.
Yeah.
I mean, how much fixing do you have to do? And head down, you could do it really cheaply.
Yeah.
Okay, you might have to go with 4 tyres if you want to be ultra competitive.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to have to throw on the tyres. But if you're happy enough just getting out for a cut, finishing the top 10 odd or whatever you want to do, you know, go down, one person, one mechanic, drive down the morning or the night before, and if you break down, just go home again. You know, so it's like you can do it effectively. There's no recce, no anthem.
Very interesting.
Drop it again. Be interesting to see in the comments. So going on, Owen Stapleton Online Media, that's coming. As far as I know, right, should be moved. We've dealt with that one. Derek, Marshall training days in and out the job. Is there not Marshall training days? There is Marshall training days.
It might have the next one.
That's what I was thinking.
And it's actually they have the youth ones.
Yeah.
There is training. I'm not too sure what's there, but there is. Check out new in my website.
Yeah,
everything's up there. It's on
there is training days. There is.
Yeah.
Will Killarney be all right? Here we go. Will Killarney, Derek O'Flynn, will Killarney Historic Rally be going for a 2-day rally next year? Nope, I don't think so. I again go back to the amount of rallies. Like, you know what, you want people to be part of it. Whereas if you split it into 2 days, and I had said this to somebody, I was like, oh, should you run modifieds one day and historics the next? Really? Is it needed? It'd be nicer for us.
It would make our job easier.
Oh, jeez, it would, yeah.
For your spectator, you're getting a hell of a lot of entertainment for free.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I think it is it.
And I don't think I don't think they get a date.
Yeah,
is part of it.
It's part of the magic of what it is. And
it is, and it's simple to do. It's simple to do. You're overcomplicated and put it into a 2-day event.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Just let us know again. It'd be interesting. I think Mike Knievy, I think all drivers should be made to do some marshalling as well. 100%. Right, the marshalling thing is right.
Yeah, marshalling.
Okay, so you have to sign on. Like generally, marshals sign on. Now, if people are as bad at paperwork as I am, they're never going to find them sheets or, you know, did you sign on? Oh, I marshal there.
Yeah.
There's only one. It's a very simple way of doing this, right? Is when you have your license, you have a QR code on your license. Okay, that basically tells the whole story. So what you do is, and again, drop it in the comments. I'm giving my solution here, and I'm happy for someone to put holes in it, and tell me why I'm wrong, and that's okay. I'm okay with being wrong if someone has a valid point. But do I think competitors should marshal 100%, because there's 2,000 or 3,000 license holders. Like if every one of them just did one day,
and a lot of
and by the way, I'm not like Marshal of the Year myself. Like as I said, I was involved in running Mayo 2022. Obviously we're working nearly every weekend, so then the weekends I'm not working, you know, it's probably not that handy because obviously I'm not the only one with 3 small kids, but I'm in England most weeks, and I work nearly every weekend, more than yourself. So, but if I was competing and I had to do one event, now it's very, very simple. It's very simple. So you get a QR code, okay? With your license, that can be scanned obviously at sign on with your virtual license. Yeah. Then when you go to sign on for a rally to marshal, all you do is the chief marshal scan your QR code, and that's logged. They have an app, a Motorsport Ireland app on their phone.
Yeah, everyone can put this type of thing on their phone. You don't have to get other equipment.
No, you don't have to. They could have a listen. The software department, whoever did the Motorsport Ireland website, would be surely able to do it. So the chief marshal has the authorization then, or the stage commander, to scan, and Andy and Killian. So your database, when they put in your name, Andy Walsh, Killian Duffy, the marshal at Cavan Stages, Marshal of Monaghan, right, we're all good. But see the ones with the red flags that didn't marshal or didn't get that QR code, no license. No license. No matter who you are, you don't marshal for one day, just one day. No license. I would. Yeah, and if you want to get a Motorsport UK license, best of luck. Yeah. Or if you are vice versa, if you want to come down, you don't marshal in the northern events, and you want to get a southern, best of luck to you. Okay. Because you're not really wanted as such. Okay. I don't think it's a lot, but you have to. It has to be managed properly. It has to, you have to have a QR system. You have to have, the software there that's able to give you the stats. Again,
like we're doing, embrace technology that's there to make it easier for you.
And even then, when it comes to entries for events, then maybe there's 5 allocated to the people that marshal the most. Okay. So the marshal might have, maybe not.
So here we're touching on incentives for marshals.
Well, that's what I would say. Yeah. So Donegal every year, or the West Cork every year. I'm just picking events that, are or any of the national Triton rounds really are oversubscribed, as we've seen. But that there's 5 entries allocated to the people statistically that would normally. So say you're putting reserve. Say we're putting reserve. We're the crew. And then they're sort of chopping and changing with the reserve. You know the way it works, And then that they go, right, Killian, Duffy and Andy, they marshal the 5 events. So then you go back and look at the stats and say, well, hold on a second. The guy that is equally, could be on the reserve. When you're
separate people on the reserve, it's before it goes public. When you're trying to separate people
when you're doing the seeding. Yeah, correct. That's what I do. Okay. But it can't be on a piece of paper. Forget about it. Yeah. It has to be on an automated system.
Which
and it's not that hard to, it's QR code at the end of the day, and everyone has a unique QR code, and the figures don't lie. But I think, 2025, they bring that in, and if you don't marshal, it's not that you have to pay double the fee, because some guys will just pay the double fee. That's not the point. The double in the fee is no good if you haven't enough marshals on a junction. You can get 500 quid for a license, but if you're stuck for a marshal, it doesn't matter how much money you pay. So that's what I would do. I'd have QR codes and give priority to the people that marshal the most, and the stats are there, and anyone that doesn't marshal doesn't get a license. End of. And that'll soon sort it out.
Drop in the comments.
What do you think? Maybe too harsh. Maybe too harsh.
Maybe not.
Okay, Darragh O'Brien, more charity events like Mondello and Limerick Race Course. Charity events. I'm still nervous of having too many events. Mm-hmm. Is there an opening for a rally event? Possibly, but there's already great rallies, great events that, if we can attract somebody over like we did for Killarney, then why rent Punchestown? Yeah. Let's organically grow the sport. Which is happening. Which is like people saying, and there's another comment there about the media, the media and the national media and the national media. So many sports are thriving without any help of the national media. When do you last buy a newspaper?
Honestly?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I'm the same.
And I would buy them religiously.
When did you last watch the news?
Do you know what Stephen Shield actually said last time? I haven't watched the news in about a week. She's been watching The Jungle, right?
When did you last watch Instagram?
I think in the car when I was waiting for you to come out.
YouTube.
YouTube today. Yeah,
So everyone's focused on national media, and you're thinking, national media, and we're getting it into the eyeballs, the people that, do you think, genuinely, do you think someone turns on the telly and thinks, I want to be part of this rally thing, and you want to make there's people now, right, influencers, right, that the whole country knows, and they don't even do a sport.
Correct.
So I think people can create their own profile, and they can create their own stardom by embracing their social media. And I think they can get their own followers out there, and they can push our sport out there. Who, you know, anyone that is on social media.
That is so true.
And again, it's not that I'm not anti-television. I'm not anti-television. If we can get it on television, happy days. If we don't, I wouldn't be lying awake at night.
There's a lot of people. There are a lot of people who have said, that we're on television because they see the show being streamed. It's television to them.
One person said about, he came home and the dad was there and he said, Jason Mitchell's on telly tonight.
I get this
Put
a lot.
It on.
Some of the older generation, right?
Sure, it's on telly. Yeah, when do you want to watch it? It's on a tablet.
Exactly, yeah.
So, like, I would say, sorry, I went off the sort of events there. Events, I don't think so. We have enough events. You know, if we can attract a WRC driver here every year, happy days. I think we're sort of doing
again, let us know in the comments. Clubs work hard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm also conscious that those people who work hard, they do need a bit of a break. They do need,
even go back to it, more rallies. Like, it's the same people. You see the same people.
Oh man, this year,
same people at the exits.
The exits, the most thankless job.
Yeah, well, they get to me too, Andy.
Do you know what?
Gets me too.
The amount of people who've actually said it, and it's you and me, right? That we have changed the end of the stage.
Well, there's an activity. Yeah, there's a bit of activity. Yeah, it's a bit of an occasion there, like.
And even when we go across the border as well, like, you know, it's to me, it's always to be an older generation person who does that job. And it's so different to what it was a few years ago.
It's a hive activity.
And they're loving it.
Yeah, usually the crews
at the start, it was kind of like, what are you doing here? But now they're like, I'm glad you're
back in here. I have a spot there. And listen, a shout out to everyone that does do that for us. It doesn't go unnoticed. It makes our job so much easier.
So much easier.
You know, the marshals, you know, they just do great work in this country, and you know, get involved. But I think that the license holders have a big part to play.
Are clubs doing enough for marshals? And this is, and you can drop in the comments, because what I mean here, I see what some clubs are doing, right?
Right.
And I see what some clubs aren't doing, right? And people say, well, how come there's no people marshalling and stuff? And, you know, it's kind of...
You will never look after them enough, though, regardless of sort of what you do. And that's not a reflection on the marshals. That's a reflection that if you were to pay them a daily wage to go and do that, it wouldn't cover them what they left home at. Like, you know what? Hats off, particularly, and I'm gonna pick a stage this year, and I'm gonna say Malls Gap in the Killarney Historic. In the pitch dark, it was fully set up and fully marshalled. What time did they start at?
What time? I was going to say, what time did they
start? So I think that a thanks and a respect and, you know, is as good as it can be better, probably can, but
well, I'm actually going to go back to the whole social media that clubs do, right? If they use social media more, right, to get more people involved, right? And the more people that's involved in the sport, I think, are going to come out at marshal. Because you see, a lot of the events, again, I'm seeing a bit of a pattern here, and events that are popular on social media are the ones who haven't been putting a call out, look for marshals. Because you just seem to have, you have families involved. The husband, the wife,
because they make a day of it.
They make a day of it, and they get out. And I think, maybe I'm wrong. Again, we're open to some comments. I think it's the work that they are putting in publicising the sport on their social media channels, which is getting more people involved.
Yeah, because they want to be part of it.
And they also have the local GA club out and the local such a club out. You know, they're just real community based.
I think you're right.
You know, it's just, and I could be wrong. That's just what I've kind of
think. I think we've that one fairly well covered there. Eamon Coakley, will Historic Rallying outshine the main categories, given that the Historics are now up to 1999? Well, I think they will to a certain generation. Like, you know,
there's room for everyone.
There's room for everyone. Everyone's wanted. Everyone's loved. But
people think that
nostalgia though doesn't move forward. Like, and it's lovely to have nostalgia, but. Like,
what that announcement there a couple of years ago about Historics, people think that Killarney Historics next year is going to be
World Rally cars, or Group A cars. Sorry, Group A cars. Yeah,
where are they going to come out? Yes, there will be a few.
You'd be surprised where they come out of. Like, you know, like
how many is?
Well, I often think that anyone that has one of them cars can afford to have it, so that they can afford to abuse it.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but that's my take on it. Will it ruin historic rallying, the updated cars? No, I don't think so. No. Because everything evolves, everything moves forward, and Like, would you want... So the guy in his Porsche...
I'm going to...
In his Porsche, historic Porsche, went and said, well, here, I don't want the Mark 1s coming.
Yeah.
And then the Mark 1s didn't want the Mark 2s coming.
When we were down in Killarney, right, we waited for every single one, right, in the last stage, in the dark, in the rain, whatever. Yeah. As we moved down the field, were people resenting those ahead of them because of different cars? No. They were happy to be part of the whole thing. You know, and it was just amazing, like... It was they didn't care about who was ahead of them.
No.
You know, and that's what people have to remember this, like, that it's not because, he's in the Group A Celica.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's not. He's just enjoying it every bit.
Enjoying it.
He, and she or whatever.
Don't get caught up in the... Just embrace it all.
I think so, and I don't think it'll take... No, I don't think so. I think it will add to it. It won't take from it. That'd be my opinion. And why don't more people march? Christy Butler, we've addressed that. National Championship should be dual surface, 50% tarmac, 50% gravel. I don't know.
In my GRS, it started off that on the younger, you know,
categories that have to half and half.
It's building, right? You know, championship half and half. You just spoke about the national there, and you spoke about forestry. You know, so
half and half. I like the idea of it. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, we're predominantly a tarmac country.
And I don't mean to say, do we need it? But
it's more expensive as well. Like, don't forget that. Like, you know, if you're going back to converting a car, like, if somebody wants to go and do the forestry championship, if you move it to the winter, then everyone can go and do it. Yeah. And maybe you could have a point system that could be carried over
from the start to the finish.
You could have something that could be an All-Ireland championship.
You could, maybe very easily there. Because
that include the gravel and tarmac. But as say, right, the Triton now next year, or 2027 is half and half. No. I don't think so. It's just not. I don't think so. Yeah. I think, again, going back, I don't think we need to. We're predominantly a tarmac country. You know, we don't have forests like... You know,
we have some good forests.
We have some brilliant forests, but we don't have a load of long kilometres in a forest altogether that has been used. No, we're not even the UK. Yeah. Or, like, I'd make notes in some stages it'd be 20 miles long.
Right, okay.
You know, 2 runs over that stage is longer than an event here, you know. And that's not disrespecting the events here. It's just we're predominantly a tarmac event. Tarmac country, and we have a good, you know, that's the way I would see it.
Yeah, okay.
Carl Nolan, why won't they get the rally safe tracking system in Ireland? By far the best system I've used and come across. It would be a game changer. Carl Nolan. Well, Carl, that is a good point. Now,
and no one more qualified to talk about it than yourself.
Well, yeah, like Craig Parry has the obviously sport tracks in the UK. You know, it's a good system. It's easy to fit. They're developing a new one. Obviously, that'll be launched next year. He does tracking for 99% of the UK rallies. Through Wolfgang. Wolfgang's massive experience in the Middle East. The Rally Safe system, I've seen it. I actually met Chris, one of the owners of the company, back years ago, and I actually thought about bringing it to Ireland a long time ago. Right, why not bring it in? Sure, listen, why not? One thing, the moolah.
Okay. It's all about the cost.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, hand system came in and everyone was giving off. Like, now I wouldn't sit in a rally car without a hand system. That was Frank O'Mahony's. We'll say Frank O'Mahony's. What do you call that when it's left? Frank O'Mahony's. What do you call it when it's left? Legacy. You know, he you know, he was, you know, and some people never rallied again after the hand system came in. So, like, I'm looking at Rally Safe and I'm thinking, right, Carl, I'm guessing it's about €100. It's over it's over double the price of what the existing provider is. Well, I'm talking on sport tracks in the UK, we'll say, right, because I know about that. And plus then you need a fitting kit for the Rally Safe. So that fitting kit, and drop it in the comments, is about 100 to 150 pounds sterling. Okay, you buy the fitting kit and then it's going to be €100 plus for a one-day rally.
Every time
so you think of your club person doing 2 events a year, and now they have to go and buy a wiring kit and fit it at 150 quid.
There's people type it already.
Well, let me know in the comments. For me, safety is like, it's like streaming. It's like us. Can we get live cameras? Can we get in cars? Yeah, of course we can. But who's going to pay for it? So we can get arguably, is it the best system? I don't know. It's a really good system, but will people pay for it? I like already people are giving off about entry fees. So the solution that we have for everything in life must fit your budget. You know, like you have a 2-story house, you'd love to put an elevator into it, but unfortunately, you have to dance according to the tune. So that would be my answer on that. So, Carl, that would be my answer. Previously said, why not run a mini-stage championship, 4 or 5 rounds? Again, I think there's nearly enough championships. Like, you know, I don't want to get the point where it's getting confusing with there's so many championships in the country. I mean, you know, do a championship, win your class in the championship, and you know, the Border Championship is open to club competitors, so why start a mini-stage championship? For me, no. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
Okay, Dara Murphy, you Sandero Cup.
I lean forward. Thoughts? You seen the car?
I seen the car. I like the look. It look cool. Right, what do I not like? I suppose is probably the easiest thing. The lack of power. There's no diff in it. This is a solution to I won't say to a problem. It fits like it's like Standard Production was years ago, where Sean Gallagher, Stuart Darcy, you know, a lot of people came from. So it is getting stuff back cheap where you have a road car. But I just think it might be just a bit standard, like in his was a 75 or 80 brake. And I seen comments saying, "Oh, Sanderos now are gone through the roof." No, they're not. I went on eBay actually. I went on eBay.
Sandero, give us a shout.
1,500 quid.
Pick a colour.
50. I think Reece McElhinney has one for sale there. Yeah. 1,000 quid. Yeah. I mean, you're arguably not going to build anything cheaper.
The thing about the Dacias, and I actually know this because there's actually a local garage to me who actually has them, and this is before this championship was announced, right? But to get a bumper, headlights, if there's any garage minute, you can drop it in the comments and you can actually back me up here.
Is it hard?
It's so flipping hard.
So you'd want to buy a base car as well, really, for parts.
Easily, yeah.
But it's basically doing so. Starting on the second loop, so if it's 3 stages, 3 times,
it's
100%.
To see this.
What we're doing here is fantastic, and it's like every solution. Everything will only get slicker and only get better. And you need to start something, and you don't have. If you wait to start something that's perfect, you'll never start it. So you have to start it and then tweak it.
Someone said to me, "Oh, it'd be great for J1000s." Well, no, it's not great for J1000s because they already have their ladder. It's great for J1000 who's in his 20s.
I would think, or even you know,
on a low budget.
You know, even people older. I'm not saying older people,
but
people that want to race,
want to get out, cheap fun. Yeah, cheap fun.
Like it's brilliant.
Now they won't be doing the full day.
Nice. They're doing 6 out of the 9 stages.
Reduced entries because they'll be starting up their first service and stuff.
So suit people there, go out for a bit dinner and have a nice lie there on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I can see.
There's lots of merits.
The
only thing, as I said, is the diff. But then you add a diff, it's adding more expense,
more money,
more power. Then you know who controls the power. Like because I see Matt Edwards has a Suzuki Swift.
Swift, yeah.
Like I like the Suzuki Swifts. They're about 130, 140 brake. Well, they're 130, 140 brake. They're about the same price, maybe a bit dearer. I think you build one for about 15,000 euros.
To be able to pull yourself out,
hydraulic handbrake,
and
Again, I did the Kaz. I did one with Milani. Oh my god, I can't think of his first name. Keith Milani. Keith. I think it's Keith. Yeah, it was the scariest day I've ever put in a car. Ravens Rock, I think 2002 in a car, and I honestly thought I'd never get out of the thing. Bolting cage, and I mean we took every corner as fast as this biscuit thing could go. And I tell you, was I glad to get out of that thing.
This is like the Joe White.
I think we were second or second or third in the Kaz in the Ravens Rock 02 or 03, whatever year it was. But I'm telling you,
competed against Keith Duffy and
I think I'm not sure was he there. I can't remember who won at that time. I think John Carroll was involved. Was doing it. I think he was quick. A red one. I can't remember the ins and outs. But all I remember was it was scary. So the racing was good. So the Sandero was probably the same. All you want is people in the same power. So maybe my point in the power is null and void. Maybe it'll work fine.
Look, we'll see. Look at what brings more entries is great and
true.
Gets more people involved in the sport.
Yeah.
But just actually on that point, this year I have known so many people who have come to rallying from circuit racing there's actually two types of people. They've come back to rallying after, it's been 20 years plus since that in a rally car.
Yeah.
Or they've come to rallying for, from circuit racing or from different types of motorsport and stuff. So we're doing something right. The sport is doing something right.
100%. There's nowhere. I keep saying there's nowhere like it. Yeah. There's what everybody is doing in the whole organisation, from the organisation of the basic events to tarmac events to the likes of Killarney to internationals is world class. Yeah. End of. What we're doing here is,
if you're involved in any
100%. Motorsport Ireland, everyone involved in it is doing and it's so easy for people to comment and say, oh, they're not doing that. Going back to my point, you cannot get everything right all of the time. What you can do is you can try to push it out there, tweak it, make it a little bit better, and run with it. But you don't wait till everything's perfect.
And people are going to make mistakes and give them a chance. They're human too,
and volunteers at that.
Yeah,
most of them volunteers, and they're not. They're like, people say, oh, they're going around and driving ahead of the course cars, and they're getting put up in the hotel. Like, is it down to a free dinner? I know even if you got the free dinner and the free hotel, it wouldn't pay for the amount of work that you put in. If you're in that and the responsibility, the stewards, the safety officers, like, they're cruising around, but comes with it responsibility.
Yeah, big responsibility.
Who would put their name to that sheet?
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. So Cyril Wharton was on about Junior 2000s. No, I think they're waiting exactly the same, the spec.
No.
Are they not?
They're allowed map their ECU. What's your thoughts on that? They're allowed map a standard ECU. A bit surprised by that.
As Andy says, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
What did they do? Like, map it?
To me,
it's not equal, is it? Or is it's only equal to the map that you have? Okay, so if you turn it up to the max,
people out there going, "Oh, how could you map a Peugeot 107 or whatever?" There's some people out there going,
"Yeah, okay. turn it up."
Why would you introduce that?
Will be a lot more mechanical failures. Do you think the engine will be screwed out?
I don't think they'll. I don't think we have to worry about that. No. But it just introduces a level that
not needed.
Not needed.
No, you're right.
Not needed.
No, not needed.
Not needed. I think.
Well, anyway, it's going to run.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Will Declan Hasty head to the RAC 2025? I'm sure he will. What is your biggest disappointment to date in a rally? Eamon Ward. It was Mayo football. Thanks, Eddie. It was Mayo football. Yeah, we're used to that. Don't worry. Disappointment. I wonder, is biggest disappointment to date and in rally? Would that be like? I
actually don't see that comment because what you're reading through is different to mine.
Top fan. I don't know. Like,
our biggest disappointment, is it?
Yeah,
our biggest,
because we have to do the memories. Jeez, maybe this isn't the last one.
Okay.
Is it?
Oh, we could do a surprise one. Drop a comment if
do you want to see a memories one? And we just don't talk about Anthem other than Facebook Live. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the characters. Okay, drop it in the comments. So, and hit subscribe. And yeah, our biggest disappointments for me at rally, I would say, I remember I was doing Dubai rally.
This is outside. This is in
2012. I'm going back to competing because that's the one I can think of.
Okay.
And I remember going into the last three stages.
Yeah.
And the guy from Seashore said, and we were just married, so it was like phase one of our honeymoon. Yeah. The team brought Michelle out to Dubai rally. It was in December, just before we went on actual honeymoon. They brought her out because we were married, and I remember the man from Seashore, our sponsor, we were in a Prodrive Mini RRC car.
Yeah.
It was 2012 Dubai rally, and he last loop of stage. He said, "Listen," he said to me at the start of the rally, "If you finish in the top three," he was giving me I think it was like $5,000 bonus. This could be okay.
This could be, yeah.
And the alternator went in the second last stage, and we were second or third overall. Jesus, that was disappointing. Now that was because we were just heading on honeymoon to America for 2.5 or 3 weeks. It would have been nice.
Oh, man.
But anyway, we couldn't even push it. It was just dead. And I remember the disappointment. That was my last event in a Mini, actually.
Wow.
No, it wasn't. I went back in a Mini.
Did you have a big off in a Mini?
Yeah, Cyprus 2012. Yeah, massive. Very well. It didn't look massive in as I can't remember, Anthony. We hit three sideways. Oh, that car never competed again. That car. It was a sudden stop sideways. The extinguisher came out of the floor and disappeared. I have no idea where that extinguisher went. It pulled clean out of the floor. Oh yeah, it went from like 60 mile an hour to zero in like point something of a second. So tell us your.
Before I tell you mine, right, I'm just going to go back on your off there, right?
Yeah.
And I want someone to actually, I want someone to actually post a clip. I came across a clip a couple of months ago, maybe a bit longer. Do you remember the time when you went off in the Fiesta in Germany and you're looking for the Hoover?
Stop.
The glass broke. Someone has that clip up.
I know. No, just delete it from the. It'll be deleted and
Best
banned.
bit of watching you've ever, right?
Stop.
Is
we hit a house.
he hit a house.
And then it was so destroyed in glass. I was like,
glass
I'm not getting in. I'm not sitting in this glass.
I love how you put, speak English.
Get a Hoover
in the German accent.
Yeah, totally. If you put that comment on our channel, you're going to be banned for life. Thanks, Andy.
What's my biggest disappointment? My biggest disappointment, actually, as you were saying that there, one did pop into my mind. It's when I was actually competing myself, and I'm not going to name the event. I was navigating with Justin Ryan. I sat with Justin for a good few events. And I think we won the junior. Yeah, we actually won the junior section of some rally. We were buzzing.
Yeah,
we were. Yeah, do you know we'd won the rally overall.
Yeah.
And we got back to the hotel in the ramp. As we were pulling in, the boys were just in the ramp, and everyone was gone.
They hadn't Andy that time.
But that's now why people say, "Oh, you went to the juniors." I know what it's like. Yeah. To be sitting with a junior, to be in the car, and that road section in, and man, we were just buzzing. And we turned in the car park, and I was like, "Where's the ramp?" And I actually seen the boys.
And it might never happen again.
We just sank.
Probably won't happen. Like as a junior, you won't win a junior event. Unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, we were. And Justin, you were tuning into this, so you remember that as well. We just,
So that's part of your story, really, with the Facebook Live. Then,
that's why I really do. I don't just say it, but I wait till the end, and I will wait till supercar comes, because really, and it's not just.
There is
the last person is important.
100%.
And whether they've nursed the car through all,
and it's always great stories.
It's always great stories. You've heard some of the stories.
And you can still hold 300 live viewers.
Oh man,
we were on 380, I think, right to the end in Killarney.
Right to the end.
Like some streams of other championships wouldn't even get that when the first car comes. So there's obviously
someone is interested, and
I'm going on here now. More night stages.
Keep going. Night stages.
Yeah, I first of all love night stages.
Love them.
I love the buzz of them. I love the excitement. I love the fact that West Cork will run night stages.
Yeah.
Again in March, they've already stages picked Steve Davis, Greg McCarthy, slick operation there. Then Bushwhacker night stages, 50th anniversary. Where else?
50th anniversary of Bushwhacker.
50th. I think it's 50th. I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm almost sure.
Killarney Historic next year will probably be night stages. I love night stages. I would say that some of the internationals that struggle to run a 2-day maybe should run like a two night stages, or like
start off with night stages.
Did you like West Cork starts in the afternoon? So start in the afternoon. So if you need a bit of recce to finish, you do the recce in a day and a bit. I'm not saying West Cork you won't recce in a day and a bit. You need the 2 full days. But I love night stages. Just now, the logistics are really tricky.
Just going to say, there's a lot of setting up to do, to reflect.
A lot of cost to the club. Yeah. But you'd imagine that all clubs shouldn't have to buy it if it was more of a thing.
It's one club buy it at a time. And that's the thing
lend the stuff. You need high visibility. The arrows need to be a certain visibility, obviously reflective. Marshals need to have lights. They need to have yellow flags that are lit.
Yeah, it's not every stage you can run in the dark.
Oh, it doesn't suit and then the fog and stuff. It's a particular time of year we can run it. I love night stages. I think the more the better. Yeah, definitely. I remember watching the Circuit of Ireland 1992, the year Frank Maher won it. I was obviously 10 years of age. I remember exactly the wall I stood at. And the stage was just outside Atty Mass in Mayo, and the circuit ran through the night. And I'll never forget him going through the bridge in the Sierra Cosworth. It was magic. 10 years of age, standing. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was awesome. And Andy Johnston, that we interviewed
in the Chevette,
spun his Chevette that night on the bridge. Wow. It was and they were interviewing him now, and he's still competing, still enjoying it.
My first night stage, would you believe, was actually in the forest in Wales for Wales GB.
Oh, class! Oh, not the smell of
smell,
burn shite,
smell,
or burn and mud, I should say. Oh,
the smell,
class.
The sound, the people. Yeah, even actually getting there, and it's pitch dark, and it's like an adventure.
Oh, it's class. Oh, jeez, it's just.
And
the RAC actually. I was over with Ben last year, 2023, Roger Albert Clark, and 100% I'm going back over to Ocean 20. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to.
We're in Walters Arena, and it was just the noise of like Chris Ingram was in that TR7.
TR7, yeah.
Perez.
Gary.
Not Steve.
Gary McHinley's Perez.
Oh my God, I can't think of his, Sebastian Perez in the Stratus, and like it was just like the noise, the darkness, the lights. When the lights come out between the trees.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just
when lights are working.
I just love night stages. Yeah. But now the Historics are back in the old crappy lights.
Yeah,
that's right. So that'll be interesting
too. That's right. Because it's historic spec, you have to run historic lights. You're not allowed to use the new bars and stuff. But
it's class. Yeah, it's class. We're all night stages here. Do you think teams championship should be introduced? Would be great. To all the power stage crew create. Yeah, a power stage would be nice in the tarmac championship, but the problem with it is it getting too complicated then?
It's very complicated.
Like we have power stage in the Triton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think let's not turn into WRC confusing with points and like I don't know. Should there be a joke around? The BRC does a joke around. What do you think? I'm looking at more comments.
Yeah.
Here. I don't know. I don't know. I think just leave it at
Drop
the minute.
Just,
what do you think? I don't know.
Should we? Yeah, I think it's a question that we cannot answer tonight.
No, I don't think so.
We cannot give you an answer. So yeah, that's concrete. That's what we think.
Yeah.
We have our opinions, but we want to know your opinions as well because it's not as simple. Yeah. It's not a simple yes, no, or...
So I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sustainability of the budgets from Dave Hopwood can be keep improving. Is there still long-term future for the modifieds? A lot of top loads have moved on to homologated cars. Probably moved on to homologated cars that probably is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The modifieds are getting like yours.
Modifieds.
Like you're hearing figures of 170,000 euros plus for top spec Mark II. It's a lot of wedge.
It's a lot of wedge.
But then you look at the top spec Toyota or Skoda, I'm sure you're talking 350 to 400 mark, so it's still cheaper. Mm-hmm. But then you might want to go into a Mark 1 Fiesta there for less than the price, or even a Mark 2 Rally 2 Fiesta now is cheaper than a Mark 2.
Yeah,
I won't say all Mark 2s.
C&M Motorsport there.
Then you have to correct C&M Motorsport, but you have to run it then afterwards. So modified is still, I would say, cheaper. Than Top Flight modified versus Top Flight Rally 2.
People used to have this cheaper thing, modified is more exciting. Jesus, Killian, I don't know.
No. We touched on that the last day. Rally 2 car drove in the door handles is awesome to watch.
Oh, unreal.
End of story.
Yeah.
I'm looking here, Billy Nolan, drivers' briefings.
That's a good one.
In my opinion, drivers' briefings should be got rid of altogether. I think it's like...
He makes a comment there about attending one every so often. Is it or something?
Yeah, I think people
the online version. I don't think is going to work because Adam could show up unless you've some way.
Well, like what's the benefit of it?
What's the benefit of it if you have those new people coming in, right? But
like if you have to not done a course to get a license.
I was just going to say they've touched, and they're probably the most qualified. They're probably because they're fresh
like if
off
a person's
the bat.
doing like X amount of rallies a year, why the same thing? Why not put in a bullet and get people to sign for it? Mm-hmm. That's what they do on the WRC runs. The bullet and you sign for it. You acknowledge. You get the yellow page, and this is the I don't know. I just for me, I think hearing the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
I'm not getting. It's just the nerves.
We all know exactly. There is no new news in it. It's the same thing. Same local guard speaking. It's the same doctors. Everyone knows the drill.
Yeah, I think. And if they don't, they should.
You should.
So I don't think it's enough that the new people justify bringing 250 people into a room for the same thing. Like
the new people, then there could be
everyone's sports.
Could be an online one that you can watch it. Put in as part of sports. You will see your information there. You need to check in. Then the new Navi, you can watch that. Because on the morning, often it's
not enough. It's not enough of a reason for me. Then people say, they have to go through the safety procedures. And yes, some people, if you want people to read something, write it down. Or if you don't want them to read it, put it in writing, because they won't read it. But I still think that in the time we're in, I think that for me, driver's briefing should be just online or non-existent. Just give a bulletin. This is the update. Stage 2 was shortened by X, Y, and Z. This is it. Let the people read it. I mean, get them to sign for it that they've acknowledged, rather than go into the room and then they didn't show up and then there's a penalty or whatever.
Yeah. But you have your new people then first day in the room. There's a lot going on. They are perhaps starstruck because there's Killian Duffy, the WRC navigator, and there's something given out, and they didn't hear it, but they're too nervous to ask the navvy beside him because it's he's WRC,
I don't know.
Bit of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The simple stuff.
No,
like
simple.
We're all human. Like,
let us know what you think.
Yeah.
That would be the best one. Okay, Mike P. Cleary on about an idea for an RSC type of Circuit of Ireland ran to alternate the RSC. Yes.
Was there something a couple of years ago?
There's been rumours of it, but the problem is going back to what will you be taken from to run that rally? Mm-hmm. So if people do that rally, what will they not be doing in order to do the rally? So do you get me? So you run the event, although I think the nostalgia is great and the RAC, the Roger Albert Clark, is a massive success story, but was it always a success story? No. It turned into a monster, but they had some years where they had to cancel stages, cancel event nearly from storms. And I'm not saying it depends on the time of year, but like we're looking at run WRC events, the older events. Not any time in the next 2 years, I don't think. I genuinely think that the 5-day Circuit of Ireland, you're paying for hotels, the price of a flipping hotel in Ireland now is so crazy. You have to think of around. Yeah, like how do you police it? How do you keep it cost effective? And how many people are you attracting? Like the RSC is renowned now globally for people to come and do. It's a bucket list thing. But once the bucket list is done once, generally the bucket list is ticked and you move on. And it'd be such a massive risk because I don't think it'd have to be north-south. So it'd have to be nearly be... Like the RSC is a private business. Like it's a business, the Roger Albert Clark. And it's ran,
if someone wants to scratch that itch, they hop on the boat.
Yeah, and do the RSC. And I know they're saying, what about a tarmac one? Yeah. I think times have changed. I don't think people like torture. I genuinely...
That's very true.
The day of the torture is... I don't know. I just don't think people want 5 days of rallying on tarmac. And again, go back, who's going to organise it? Who's going to marshal it? I'm not giving problems to the solution here. I'm just playing the devil's advocate that I can say, well, this is why I think. Why do you think it'll work or not work? Why, let people write in the comments. Don't even WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's true.
Going back to it, I had a comment earlier from somebody. They actually WhatsApped it to me, and they were saying about, do you think that the tourism board in Ireland could do more to attract top line drivers to come here? But I'm pretty sure that Fáilte Ireland contributes to a right few rallies in Ireland. Can there be more money in the pot to bring I think Killarney made it work. Like the time I brought Mads Osberg to Mayo in 2010, we made it work. We came up with a system. You will have loads of sponsors to subsidise it.
If the work is there behind it,
I think yes, the market and value Ireland got out of Killarney Historics with Callier up here was unbelievable. And even the weather wasn't great. So we weren't putting the best foot forward. You look at the market and value Ken Block, Lord Reston brought to Donegal, and countless people. But I think Fáilte Ireland actually is actively investing and supporting multiple events in this country. So that I suppose would be the answer. Now I'm sure we've missed a couple of people, but I think now I'm sure we're on an hour and 20 minutes. And apologies that we've went on, but it's just again, if people are enjoying us,
I have to give a shout out, right? In just the comments there, there's a young man he's actually put a comment in. Reese Beckett-Hindley, right? Yep. He launched his own YouTube channel, right? Yes. I was going to mention this week, anyway, right? Check out Reese Beckett-Hindley.
He's doing great social media work, and social media in the mornings.
He's doing is just amazing.
Even the hard work he's doing.
He is. Yeah. If you don't, just check him out. Give him a follow. Watch what he's doing. You see that the sport is in good hands. The future of the sport.
Going back to the media thing, what these people are doing. These young guys and girls are doing.
They speak to us better than some of the guys who are around a long while. I remember
they're more social savvy. Yeah. They're more media savvy.
They don't know rallying without Facebook Live. I said to someone recently that the J1000s do not know rallying without Facebook Live. Yeah. They that's right. We've been there before they started rallying.
That's mad.
And I think of that, and it kind of gives me kind of goosebumps, that they associate us with. We're part of rally. We're the WRC to them.
That's right. Yeah. But he's doing great work.
But how they have embraced it. But Reese is just, the branding on his car, and he's converting. He's going to be the first to left-hand drive Skoda.
And Ush McShane, he's left hooker as well. He's going left. Wow. Shows you what the ambition these guys is.
And there's a couple of J1000 cars for sale, right?
There is.
I'm really interested to see what they're stepping up to.
There is, because there was a big shortage last year. They obviously got additional ones were built.
Yeah.
And now they're becoming available again.
Some good cars for sale there at Tommy Cronin's
car. I see that. Tommy Furlong's.
Even like the Reese's car, they didn't hang around long.
No.
That was sold.
No, but sure, it's the last bit. I won't say it's the last bit of affordable rallying they do, but the Daisy is there now. So listen, I think that's nearly us.
We have to give a shout out to the Most Modern Women Commission. Rosemary Walsh and Noel Horn are over in Indianapolis.
Yes.
They went over, and I put it in my notes here, and I better give a shout out, because check out Noel's social media. They're over in Indianapolis, involved in the Women with Drive to Summit. So basically, well I won't do it justice. Check out her social media. Women Motorsport are doing they're doing fantastic work in the whole commission there. Herself and Nicole and Sinead and Louise and I'm going to forget someone. Yeah. But great working on in all, but and all that, right? No more than the Women in Motorsport and all the work that's going on in the J1000s and in the Dacia, Killarney. It's all good news, Killian.
Well, I'm just I have to take the opportunity. So I really it's I've sort of left it sit. I missed the opportunity that there was a launch recently where an elderly gentleman was on about the lack of media and stuff, Control Alt Delete. Good luck. I think it was half. I felt embarrassed for him, to be honest. I think that the media, we've addressed the national media, but the way the whole thing is moving now, it's all progressing. And I want to give a big shout out. Actually, when we're giving shout outs to Aaron from Rally Retro Garage. I just want to point it out. I just want to give the statistics.
Put it in context as well.
I just want to put it in context here, right?
Because people might actually recognize starting from.
He has over 500,000 followers on Instagram alone. Now, just to put that in perspective, Sebastian Ogier has 300,000, and so has Keller of here.
Yeah.
So this guy from Killarney that blogs and vlogs on normal retro cars. He's an Audi, but he's obviously doing more work now. He's he's grown from nothing. Now this guy has a Motorsport Ireland bib. Now you tell me that he is less valuable and we have less PR than someone writing for a local paper. And we need the local papers, by the way. But I'm saying that for somebody to come on and say that the media at the launch of a major brand, that the media is not where it should be, honestly, do you know what I mean? Sometimes
I'll put in the comments.
Sometimes you can wait. Sometimes you can wait in the stage too long. Sometimes it's time to leave the stage, and that's not disrespecting the man's work over the years, but sometimes things pass you by, and that's the way I'd leave it. I think I think the media. I'm just going to say it.
People who looked at that and kind of went, for real, because a lot of hard work going on.
It's a bit frustrating, but again,
and good work going on.
It is, but the good work will always, the positivity will always outweigh the negativity. So we're all about positivity, and we're going to leave it at that. We will see. Drop it in the comments if you want another one over the Christmas. It's going to be the Dixon video. Is going to be live over the Christmas. We may get a chat. We're going to have the big night in Donegal Town on the 18th, McCafferty's Bar. And that's going to be class. Really looking forward to that. We're going to have people. We're going to have the people join us. We're going to have competitors join us. We're going to have marshals and talk about marshals. There's a payback night, and there's a marshals payback day in Mondello as well. Shout out to that. Get registered to go on the Motorsport Ireland website. Follow us on all wherever you watch your podcast, because this one is going to be on Spotify. If
you're listening to Spotify, give us a review.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Fantastic. Let's get up the charts.
Let's get up the charts. So we can go.
Andy, it was a pleasure. Killian, mind yourself. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you.